Alrighty, this video is going to be going over the gain staging for everything. Yeah, so we started with the base in last video. What we're going to do here is, if you look, you can see a number down here, 5.2. We are going to match the rest of the bases to that because we spent time on it, and it's right, and that's okay. Next, we're going to go over to the drums. The drums are super duper important, and yeah, I would go to those next. The SSL strip here, we can see the kick could use a kick replace, could use a touch more as we get her going here. One thing I would do if I was sitting back here on a Sunday is the room's gonna be shaking, and because people will be getting at least at the very start, they're doing their gain structure out there, but after that they're doing rehearsal. So I would come over to the crowd mics, turn them up a little bit, just so something's going on, so I can be aware of what the band's saying on stage, because some of them don't have a talkback. And just being attentive to the talkback. We are the servant. We're the chief servants of this house. When it comes to Sundays, we have a tremendous responsibility when it comes to being able to minister the gospel and make sure that things are distraction free. We need a little bit less gain on the snare place here. We want to minister things in a distraction free way, and to do that, the details need to be right. So that starts before the band even gets here. That starts with getting the stage set correctly. That's one of the most important things that we can do, so that when the musicians show up, things are just good to go. We want to be able to serve them well. And if they're thinking about our job, like, oh crap, this wasn't plugged in yet, they're not going to be on their A game. And it makes it harder to just start rehearsal, or rehearsal starts later. And Lord knows that we all... I play acoustic. I need that time. So I want to go to a spot where I know toms are being hit to gain my toms. So I'm going to go to here. I believe the player here was Tyler, so he does not hit toms a ton. So using my recording, we're going to get that. So you can see here when he hits the toms, sitting pretty. I'd give it a touch more. I really do enjoy toms, so I'm riding that as close as I can get to the edge of it. Just because it's going to get us the most. And really, this is what you should be doing for all of them. Just making sure that they are right up there. Maybe this is a touch hot, so I don't have to add a lot. But I know I was at front of house this day, and my toms are always hot because I can. So give it a touch more on tom 2 here. Normally, what they will do is they'll do some lighter ghost note hits. So having a little bit extra here isn't always a bad thing. So getting my gain right. If you notice, I'm not really listening to what instrument I'm gaining. I can hear it through the crowd mics, but the important part right now is making sure it looks correct. When this is the only thing that you will ever do, wear it with your eyes, because it needs to look correct. So I'm looking now for the hi-hat to see if he hits a hi-hat, so I can see he hits hi-hat here and here. So I'm going to come over. This looks like it's a cymbals moment. No, it's not, but he still hit the hi-hat. So window mix, looking at my hi-hat here. So I'm going to just hit space to loop the part. Yeah, we're sitting pretty there. That's almost perfect. Maybe I can give it a touch more. Nope, I can't. So that's perfect right there. Just he's hitting the hi-hat, and it's giving me as much gain as I need. Next thing here is we gain our overheads off of the snare. So I'll turn my snare up, and part of what we're going to learn is how to fix the snare, because it sounds terrible. That is not a right now thing, though. So when he hits the snare, we need to be hitting the 15 point right here. That's what matters. So we're sitting good there. So you see, I'm going through this pretty quick. That's because I know where things are at. I've been doing this for quite a few years now. This is a touch hot. Oh, contacts are freaking out here. Make sure we're still connected. Yeah, I did the entirety of this video, and the remote PC disconnected on my computer, and it absolutely screwed me, unfortunately. One thing here is with this F6, this is already here, and it should be, but you can hit presets. I've got a bunch of presets for a bunch of different things. Luke overhead is what you want to have there. You want to make sure it's there, because it cleans out a bunch of the low ends. So if I just bypass these, you can see we get a lot more of the kit, which is always nice. So this is kind of a artist choice type thing of what you want to do here. It does clean up everything if you have the F6s in, and having clean sources is the name of the game. So we'll go back here and we'll just loop this because I do enjoy it. What I don't like is cymbals, so go away. Thank you. All right, cool. We've already done the bass, so we're gonna go over to electric next. You don't need to listen to it. That's always more fun to listen to stuff, especially when you got some really good players like Garrett here. Just beautiful tone. But you can see, you know, negative 15. This is his single note overdrive. So he's hitting this. This is pretty much the top of his range, and you can hear by the crowd. This is pretty loud. This is a pretty big moment that we got going here. We'll come over to acoustic next. Acoustics is one of those things that you just gotta pray. So depending on how the acoustic player is playing, that depends on how much you will gain this. Because if they hit the 1 really hard, and the 1 is like the click here, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and I might be off of what they're playing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if he hits that 1 really hard, you will see that it might spike up here to like the 5 range. It's not okay. You need the very top of their playing to be at this negative 15. And that's what we do for vocals as well. So going over to keys next. Oh, all right, hitting some wrong notes. It's okay. So 15 here. See it on the throne. I love this song. Yep, just making sure that it's sitting in the 15 right there. I say negative 15. It is negative 15. You can see the negative down here, but just 15. So I could give it a touch more here because this is a pretty loud moment. Like they're hammering here, so a little bit less loud. Maybe I lied. And notice how I'm doing this at the climax of the song. This is the loudest moment, the biggest moment. You can see that everybody's the most engaged. Everybody's playing the hardest. I need to make sure I don't cover this up. So that's when you want to do this. Here. So you can see, I believe, oh, it might have been Rick. See, we got a bunch of swirly stuff here. Beautiful. Normally this will be a tonic, so you just got to know what the musician is doing, because this will make the live stream sound super big. But too much of it, and it's just like, ugh. You know, you got too much going on. It's hard to concentrate on stuff. So a touch less. It's already pretty close to being where it needs to be. And it is, you know, this is the loudest moment, so it should be pretty close to being at level without us having to add gain. So there we go. We'll go over to the vocal mic. So this is something that you do want to listen to. You need to be able to hear how hard they are singing. I don't know what key we're supposed to be in, so I'm just going to bypass the auto-tune. So a touch hot. So see how that she's holy, and like this is where this gets hard. She's consistently she's consistently sitting at 15, but she will jump up. You want to try to find a happy medium. So that holy right there, I'm going to try to gain it off of that. So notice I am sitting at negative 20. That just kind of is what it is. I'm going to try to sit in the middle. The rule of thumb is right there. That's where you want it. So we'll come over to Howell. What you want to do is you want to catch the singers when they're leading a song. Unfortunately, I don't remember who was leading what song. So we're just going to come down here to the waveforms. We can see clearly that Howell is leading this song and Alexa is leading this song. So we'll hit that. So, forgive me, Howell. You get to be vocals by yourself. So a touch hot, so I'm actually going to lower it. This means it was hot at front of house, which that tracks, because it is very hard to get singers to sing the loudest they're ever going to sing in rehearsal, because it's, you know, what is it, 6:30 in the morning? Like, vocals aren't warmed up yet. This is second service, so they're just hitting this hard, and that's okay. It's something to coach them through and say, hey, man, I need you to be louder in rehearsal, and I kind of account for what I can here. But you can see when he says that you, it goes a little bit higher, but the rest of it's not. So I'm gonna give him a touch more here, and we'll go back to where we've been, because this is the absolute loudest that they're gonna be. Yeah, so that's good. Well, we're gonna wait for this little moment right here, because you can see the peak's a little bit higher. So I'll zoom in on it. Oop, I'll try to zoom in on it. Make sure I'm not covering it up. Yeah, right there. So if that goes into the yellow, that one spot, and everything else is green, you know, that's fine. There are outliers in this. So we're good to go there. Next thing is crowd mics. You want the loudest moment that you got going. And that's going to be really, you're not going to be able to do that in rehearsal. You just won't. So I gauge it off of where the PA is at. So whenever the person who's mixing front of house is, you know, slamming the PA, that's when you want to come over here and check your gain. I'm going to ask that the ambience left-right stay the same because of what I am doing with them. They are my subwoofers. If I just turn these up, you can start to hear it. Things just shake, which I love. But this gets out of control really quick. And one thing that gain does is it adds volatility to things. Just how dynamic something is. So I'm only going to do this with the crowds 1 and 2. And we can see that this is a pretty loud moment. I'll turn this up a little bit higher now. Let me hear Caleb on the acoustic there singing. It's a touch hot there. You could gain it off the snare. It's not a bad idea to do. But that only works for a couple of the mics because only some of the mics are close to the drum cage. But the snare is always the loudest thing anywhere you go, as it should be. Ooh. Anyway, so I'll give it a touch more here. Yeah, see, look at how much extra gain I got there, and it's still not going to the yellow. I know they are coming down in the moment. Oh. So see, and then I come back up. So this is definitely an art that takes time to master. I'm pretty happy with what we got here. So that's gain for everything. Let me know if you have any questions.